Hello and welcome everyone to UFC Fight Night, Kattar vs. Ige Virtual Media Day. UFC Fight Night Kattar vs. Ige takes place this Wednesday, July 15th at Flash Forum on Abu Dhabi's Yas Island. The full event will be simulcasted and airing live on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus, with the prelims starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and the main card at 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific time. Today's event will begin shortly. As a reminder, this is being recorded. We will kick things off momentarily with UFC flyweight Ryan Benoit. Hi Ryan, thank you for joining us today. Oh, I think can you hear us?
I hear you.
Oh, thanks for joining us today. We're going to start with Jay Anderson of Cage Side Press. Jay, you've been...
it's a little bit of a... Thanks very much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Congratulations and welcome back. A little bit of an upgrade here, too, with the co-main event slot with Frankie and Pedro being out. So how does that one feel?
And it feels great. It's definitely a pretty big upgrade. I think I was the second fight on the card originally, and now I'm the second of the last fight on the card. So pretty honored, man. Definitely not something I expected at all, but I'm ready.
And as far as getting ready, I mean, a lot of people have struggled to have normal camps during the pandemic. We've seen a lot of people training from home, gym closures, depending on where you're training out of. So how have things been for you? Yeah,
I kind of dealt with similar things. I was able to pull a camp together, though. I train out. At first, I was training at home and doing secret training sessions with the gym being closed and trying to sneak in there without getting caught. And then I was able to actually do my camp in New York City. Again, secret training sessions. I'm probably not supposed to be saying that, but I think everybody's been doing the same thing also. But yeah, I did my training camp in New York City. At first, it was a little bit rough because that's where the coronavirus had kind of hit the hardest, and then it kind of spiked in Dallas at the same time, but I was able to get some training partners together, and we were able to pull together a pretty good camp.
Now you're back at flyweight for this one, and obviously, between, like you said, the craziness of training camp, the travel to Abu Dhabi, the restrictions during fight week, as far as quarantine and everything, I mean, does any of that complicate the weight cut for you?
No, not really. It's pretty hot here in Abu Dhabi, so I'm actually a couple of pounds ahead of schedule. I think it just kind of comes down to disciplined dieting and being consistent, and we've been able to do all of those pretty well. I'm an experienced fighter too, traveling overseas, so I was pretty prepared ahead of time for what was to come, and yeah, I feel good.
And last one for me, I mean, we've heard a lot about fighters fighting in an empty arena, being able to hear their corners, their opponents' corners, even the commentators. What do you anticipate that experience to be like?
I feel like it's probably going to feel a bit like a sparring session, where I could hear, my sparring opponents' coaches yelling out, advice against me, vice versa, and hearing my coaches pretty clear. I'm kind of like a video game sometimes, where my coach will tell me to do something and I'll pull the trigger like right away. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I've never had that experience before. I've never dealt with that, and we'll see how it goes. I feel like it's going to go well, though.
All right, thanks very much, Ryan. You have the best luck on Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, and that's all we have for you today. Have a great day and good luck this week.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
And next up, we have number 10 UFC ranked featherweight Dan Ige. Hi, Dan.
Hey, yeah.
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I like the shirt.
Thank you. Got the Fight Island vibes.
I like it. We're going to start you off with Gabriel Gonzalez from Cage Side Press.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Gabriel? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's pretty early over here, but it's easy when you're talking to the stars, you know?
Ah, come on.
Let's talk about it. Big featherweight fight over the weekend. What were your thoughts on the match between Max and Alex?
Cutting out.
One more time. Just what were your thoughts on the fight between Alex and Max?
I thought it was a great fight. I thought Max had won, but that's how it goes sometimes, and he'll always be a champion. Max has 5 belts at home, but I don't think this is the end of Max. I definitely think he'll have a title again in his future, but it is what it is, as he would say.
So, did you score it for Max?
Yeah, I did. I had round 1, 2, and 3 for Max. 4 and 5, or you could even argue 4, in my opinion, but I'm biased, obviously. I was rooting for the Hawaiian, but it was a good fight. I thought he did great, but sometimes that's how it goes.
Being in quarantine, can you describe what the experience was like? Like, did you have to watch UFC 251 just alone in your hotel room? How did it work?
Yeah, they actually they streamed. I woke up, I saw the main card, and it was actually streaming on the TV, so I just watched it there. I ended up doing a little workout, so I missed parts. I saw bits and pieces of like the Jan and Aldo fight. I watched the Max fight. I sat down and watched that fight, and then I watched the Usman fight as well. So I thought they were great fights, good fights.
You fought around the same time as Calvin back in May. When you had your fight and you saw obviously he had his, did you feel like this might be a guy that they pair you up with?
At the time, no. I was thinking maybe I'd end up fighting him down the line because he was a bit higher than me, and I thought he'd maybe wait and fight someone above him because he's deserved it and he's earned it. But much respect to him for taking a fight against me, and I'm excited to share the cage with him and go out there and put on a show.
If you win this one, it would be your 7th straight. It'd be your second fight, that you won during the pandemic. Is it bittersweet? You're getting all this done and there's no fans in attendance watching?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but that's kind of why I've gotten the opportunities I'm getting today because of this pandemic. And so in a way I'm grateful for it because it's really I've taken full advantage of this opportunity. And a lot of guys have to sit out and it's unfortunate for them. Some guys can't travel, but I'm taking full advantage and this is my time to get ahead and, make a name for myself, and I got a title to win, so I can't let anything stop me. Even a global pandemic, I can't let it stop me.
Final one from me. What does Calvin bring to the table that makes him dangerous as an opponent?
He's a ferocious. He's a finisher, and that's what I am too. I always go out there and I bring it a fight. He's definitely dangerous. I feel like I'm dangerous in a lot more areas, so it's going to be a fun fight. You never know what can happen in a fight, but I'm going to go out there and do everything I can to win, and we'll see what happens Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Thank you.
Next, we have Damon Martin from MMA Fighting.
What's up, Damon?
Dan, what's up, buddy? Obviously, we knew this was a big fight going in, and I know, you were obviously friends and a big fan of Max Holloway, but in a weird way, does it make it easier going for the title now, knowing that it's Alex, a chance to avenge Hawaii a little bit? I mean, does it make it easier? Because I know you didn't want to fight Max. I know that's not a fight you really wanted. You would have taken it, but I know it's not one you wanted.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely more motivation to go after the Aussie than my fellow Hawaiian. So I'm excited. I'm hungry. I have a tough opponent in front of me, but who knows? You never know what's going to happen in this division. I could go out there and get a big win over Kattar and get a title shot because you got these top five guys. The guys in the top five aren't active, and I'm active. I'm out there. I'm winning. This is my third fight this year, and if I keep going out there and I keep winning, pretty soon you can't deny me.
Let me ask you about that because there's been, obviously some good guys at the top of the division. There's been a lot of talk about Brian Ortega and the Korean Zombie. We've heard rumors about Zabit and Yair, but as far as I know, nothing's officially been announced. I mean, you've been staying very active, obviously, during the pandemic and kind of rising your way up the ranks. I mean, this would be a huge win for you. But is it frustrating those guys keep getting mentioned, yet they're not active right now?
I sometimes I don't understand it. You got Brian Ortega. I feel like he retired after Max beat him up. He hasn't fought in 2 years. I have a lot of respect for that guy too. But he hasn't fought for 2 years, and he's still ranked like number 2 in the world or something. And then you got Yair out there and Zabit. A guy we manage. But then again, same thing. Like I'm not talking about my guys, but they're not active and they're not fighting. And even if they're these guys are scheduled to fight or whatever in August, like who knows when they'll even fight again. So I'm just focusing on me right now, and I'm doing what I have to do to get a title shot, and that's all I'm really focused or worried about.
With that said, I don't want to take the focus away from Calvin, but the Ortega fight would be out there considering he's talked about fighting the Zombie, but he has been very open about being kind of stuck in South Korea, the pandemic, and we understand that. But is that Ortega fight maybe one you would target after this one?
If it's the number one contender fight, 100%. Whatever it takes. I'm out there, and like I said, I'm going to keep being active and I keep winning. I know Alex wants to stay active as a champion, and he wants to get one fight in before the year ends. So, whatever it's going to take. I feel like I'm the guy, but we'll see what happens. If I got to fight Ortega, if I got to fight a Zombie, I'm going to fight those guys.
And you mentioned before, a lot of respect for Calvin taking this fight, with all the jockeying for position with rankings. A lot of guys who are ranked don't want to fight a guy technically ranked below them. And I know you have a lot of respect for that, but also in terms of activity, I mean, how much respect do you have for a guy like Calvin, coming off that big knockout over Jeremy Stephens and jumping right back in here with you, coming off a big win over Edson? I mean, it feels like a perfect fight, but again, there's no, he doesn't have to accept this.
For sure. It's a similar mindset. He wants to stay active. He's hungry. I'm sure he wants to win the title as well. So, we're the two best fighters in the world. The best fighters in the world are going to keep fighting. And that's what I asked for. I asked for the best fighters in the world. And, I think Calvin can respect that. And that's why he took the fight against me. And, it's gonna be a great fight Wednesday, and the best man will win.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
All right, David.
Next, we have Paul Honda of Honolulu Star Advertiser.
What's up, Paul? How are you?
Oh, let's see.
Early for you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. 4 a.m. Yeah, sorry. Hello?
High school, Reggie Torres. I talked with him and he said, I want your response to this. He said, I've seen most of his fights. He has the best work ethic. Dan will have to work through the distance and the hits, find a way to score through hits and takedowns. He's more in shape, has a bigger heart than his opponent. So push the tempo and win in the third. Win through cardio. What's your response to that?
That was from Reggie Torres?
Reggie Torres.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that was my high school wrestling coach, and he has a big part of this too. He really helped instill a mindset in me from high school wrestling. I started my junior year, but we had a motto. It was called outwork the competition. And I wasn't the best wrestler. I wasn't the most talented, but I can outwork guys, and that's something I still bring to the table today. And I will go out there and I will outwork Calvin, and that's pretty awesome. So tell him what's up for me, please.
Do. One more question. When you think about where you are now, 14 into 6 years into a pro career, compared to when you first started, in high school, I mean, you don't have time to think about that kind of stuff, but maybe if you can think about it now for like a few seconds, what do you think?
Yeah, I always look back. You can never forget where you came from. I look back to the beginning. I look back to when no one believed in me, and I was the only person who had to tell myself I was going to make it. I was going to make it to the UFC when I had doubters and people telling me, hey, you're not making any money. Why are you doing this? You're getting hurt. You're getting injured. You're getting cut. You're getting bruises, but you're not getting anything out of it. I was the one that had to keep telling myself it doesn't matter because I have a goal and I'm going to achieve it. And here I am now. Main event in Abu Dhabi is pretty awesome to look back on.
Do you have any shout outs for anybody in particular?
Oh, just, shout out to everyone back home. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate all you guys. Cuckoo Red Raiders for life. Yep, that's it.
All right, thank you, Dan. Best wishes, brother.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, and then last one up is Sumit Dada from Sportskita.
Hi, Sumit Dada.
Hey Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first thing I wanted to ask was, this is your first main event. How do you feel about that?
I'm pumped up, super excited. It's a big opportunity for me, so I can't be happier. And but it's the same thing. At the end of the day, I have a big job to do. I can't let the bright lights, the cameras, the extra media, and all this take away from the fight. So I have one job to do, and that's to go out there and win. And I'm really excited.
Right. Knowing that this is your first main event and it will be on the Fight Island, does that add any sort of extra pressure on you?
No, not at all, because I have the same goal, the same mindset. It's a great experience. Obviously with the whole global pandemic, we're very fortunate and grateful to be here, still competing and living out our dreams. So I'm really excited, and I'm happy to be here in Abu Dhabi, competing on this historic event.
Right. One last thing I wanted to ask was, what did you make of the featherweight title fight this week between Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski?
It was a great fight. I was rooting for my fellow Hawaiian, Max Holloway, and I thought he had won the fight, but sometimes that's how it goes. And we're going to get a title back for Hawaii. Mark my words, we will.
Right. Thank you, and good luck for the fight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. That's all we have for you today. Good luck on Wednesday.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thanks, Nan.
Thank you. Welcome, Mounir.
Hello,
Thanks for joining us. Did I say your name right?
Mounir Lazzez. Thanks for having me.
I've been practicing. All right. So now we have UFC welterweight Mounir Lazzez. We are going to start with Nolan King with USA Today.
Hey, Mounir, I appreciate the time, man. Welcome to the UFC. What's it feel like to have your first fight week? How's things going so far?
It's going so well, yeah. The weight cut in the training camp went so well. Let's be honest, I don't want to be fake. It's always horrible cutting weight, but we will do it and we will be ready to fight day.
And with the pandemic, did that impact your training at all? Did you have to make any adjustments? Any shifts into working out in the backyard, or kind of how did this go down for you? How did the pandemic go down?
Yeah, I got some extra equipment in my parking garage, and while we get locked down here for 2 months and a half, I was active. It's affect everyone, but I took the best out of it. And then we get the call and we get a private gym, and we had our camp properly, for a week and a half.
Awesome. And with this fight, you become the first Arab fighter in UFC history. I mean, what does that mean to you? That's quite an accomplishment, something for the record books. Is that something that excites you?
Just for a correction, I'm not the first Arab, but just I'm the first who born and raised and trained in Arab country. There is other colleague, let's say, fighter who they are, Arab, but they are born, or let's say they move it to train and live somewhere else, in US or in Europe. This something. I'm happy with it. I'm proud, but this is not my final achievement. My goal it's not just to make it to the UFC. It's to come here and make my UFC career successful.
For sure, and you have a tough task ahead of you, a very tough opponent in Abdul Razak Alhassan. What do you expect to see out of him, and what should the fans expect to see out of you?
It's gonna be war. He's a stand-up fighter. He loves the stand and trade, and that's it's gonna be hard for him because I have many weapons. I have my footwork, I have my long reach, and I have my mindset. So, don't believe, get your pay-per-view because it's going to be like firework.
Awesome. Appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, man.
Next, we have Jay Anderson from Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much. And Mounir, congratulations on joining the UFC. Your first fight here, obviously very exciting. Are you nervous as well, just a couple of days out from the fight?
Not actually, it's super weird because, this is my UFC debut, but it's so weird. I feel like super calm and composed. Like usually I'm, they lie all the fighter if you tell you I'm super pumped and excited. It's always there is that kind of, fear inside the fighter. They don't want to talk about it. But for real, like, it's super weird. Like now, just I was talking to my coach and colleague, I was like enjoying the process, just being happy, here in my second hometown, Abu Dhabi, just I'm enjoying every moment, and I cannot be more proud of this,
Is it a little disappointing to not have the fans in the arena for this? Because you would essentially be the home star in this case. You train in Dubai, so that would be a huge thing, but you're going to be fighting in an empty arena instead.
In the life we have to adjust, we have to adapt in some situation. It's not always perfect moment or perfect scenario. So I did my best, to. I usually always love to fight in front of my home people, and I get the energy from the crowd. But it's something new for everyone, for me, for all the athletes, UFC athletes. So we are adapting, and we're gonna keep, fighting and entertain people.
Alhassan hasn't fought since 2018. Are you a believer in ring rust? Do you think that's going to play into effect at all?
No, I don't believe in that because I had as well too, like 1 year and a half, one time off, So I didn't. I come back and I fought main event here in Dubai against like European ranking number 1. No, it didn't affect me. I don't believe in that. I'm expecting he's coming with full his potential, and I'm coming with full my potential, and that's what makes it excited.
And last one for me. I mean, a lot of people are expecting this to be a firefight on the feet between the two of you. What are you expecting from it?
I'm expecting very nice fight. It's a calm, composed war. Don't get me wrong. Anyone he will get clicked. He have the opportunity to finish the fight. So we are trained for this moment, and I'm just gonna go there, confident, composed, calm, smart to deliver that night. That's as simple as that.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Welcome to the UFC. Best of luck on Wednesday.
Thanks for having me.
And then last we have Damon Martin from MMA Fighting.
Hey, Mounir, a lot has been made, especially last weekend with the pay-per-view, about the time difference. The fighters coming in from the States or other international locations and fighting it. I think it would start at 6 a.m. local time for the main card. You're on the opposite side. You train and live in the area, and now you have to fight and adjust. How has that been for you? Have you had to completely adjust your schedule to get ready to fight at such a weird time?
Even for you, brother, if I tell you that you have a fight at 6 a.m., you will be pumped all night, you will not sleep. So it's not a real reaction. Your body will adjust and will be just feeling asleep maybe 24 later on. So that's something the body is smart to adapt and this kind of thing. I'm not worried about it. Trust me, Evan. Like I try to adjust, but then I say, listen, it's gonna be fight. Sometimes if it's hit you fight, I don't know, like in the street or wherever, you're not gonna say, wait, I have to adjust. I have to adjust the time to fight. So for me, like I always, I'm a morning person. I love to wake up early and get my day done early. So I wake up a couple of times at 3, 4 a.m. I go walk in the beach, walk in beautiful Dubai to visualize and see my dream. So I'm happy with it, with whatever it's the changes it's coming. So I'm happy with that.
Obviously, anytime you get to make your UFC debut, it's an exciting time, but getting a chance to kick off the main card like this on television here in the States, ESPN, I mean, is it exciting not only to make your debut, but to, really make an impact in your first fight? I mean, this is kind of a big showcase for a debut.
Yeah, 100%, because UFC as well, they know what I bring at the table and they know my following here in the Middle East. I'm not just someone who's coming here like, to just make it to UFC. I'm coming here to knock people out, and show my hard work and, all the experience I bring in the table. So that's why I believe they get the confidence in me to kick my UFC debut in main card against like tough opponent as well.
And Dana White has said, time and time again that, Fight Island, Yas Island is going to be a home for the UFC. With the pandemic still going on, probably for the foreseeable future. He talked about coming back either September, October. I'm sure you'd welcome the chance to travel as well, but considering the UFC is going to call Yas Island home for a while, would you like to, after this fight, not looking past this fight, but would you like to stay active? Would you like to take that opportunity to continue to fight, on Fight Island?
100%. I'm planning to be active. I'm not someone who's going to hold himself like 8 months or whatever to get other chance. For me, the main thing is I focus in this fight, I deliver, I get the result I want, and then I will step back and I will talk the day after with my manager, and we will get date for the next stage, the next event. But I love to be active, as long as everything is fine with my family and health. That's the most important. Then I want to be active. I'm not here coming just to show my face once or twice a year. I want to be active, do 3, 4 fights.
And last question, Abdul, the guy you're facing, he was on a great streak before he had that break. I believe it was 3 knockouts in a row. So he had a lot of hype coming in this division. I mean, were you happy with this opponent and the chance to fight a guy who is going to fight you? This is a guy who always guns for the knockout, always guns for the finish. And I imagine that makes, openings and opportunities for you as well.
Yes, of course. I'm coming as well, too, from High Real Knockout. You can check them. So I'm focusing myself. I'm focusing, on my what I'm gonna bring in that night. So, don't blink and get your pay-per-view. It's gonna be firework. 2 stand-up fighter. They're gonna entertain the fans all around the world.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Great job, Mounir. And that is all we have for you today. Good.
Yes.
Good luck on Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Calvin.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Looks like we are going to start you off with Nolan King with USA Today.
Great.
Hey, Calvin, how's it going, man? I appreciate the time. You've had big fights before. You've had a main event in the UFC before, but this one feels a little bit bigger. I mean, you're the marquee. You're the guy on the left side of the poster. To you, does this feel like a bigger than usual opportunity here, like kind of like a showcase fight, so to speak?
No, they're all big. Every time I step in there, it's a big moment opportunity for me. This one, where the main event is great. It's good to have this opportunity in front of me. But Dan Ige, tough opponent. It's my time. I'm going to go and get the job done come Wednesday.
How nice is it not to have to wait? I mean, you went through a bunch of fight cancellations for the Stevens fight, and now you get a quick turnaround. Nothing goes wrong. You have the opponent in front of you that you signed up to fight originally. How nice is that?
It's crazy when that happens, huh? Yeah, last one was like a 5-month camp, three shows turnover, and definitely it's nice to have one quick turnaround. There's pros and cons to each. We were able to really dial in for Jeremy, and I felt like by the time I got in there, it was just ready to go. And it's a nice change of pace to get a quick turnaround and have him show up and do his part. Now let's just see which he should make weight, but that's the last of it.
For sure, man. And coming along with the big fights, you get bigger contracts. You just re-signed with the UFC. How happy were you with that deal and to be able to extend with them for a bunch more fights?
Yeah, I'm really happy. My manager, Tyson Chartier, set that up, and here we are, 6-fight opportunity. And, it's always just the next fight ahead of me. And right now it's all Dan Ige. And just going to go out and show why I'm one of the best in the division.
For sure, man. And I wanted to get your thoughts too. Obviously you're out there doing your thing, preparing, but I don't know if you had a chance to watch the title fight in your division over the weekend. What were your thoughts on it if you did check it out, and did you agree with the decision?
I thought Max might have won it, but it was close, man, in that third round. I have to rewatch it to really get my opinion, but it was very close. I think if you scored it as one whole round, one big fight, instead of each individual round, I think you got to give it a Max. You control the cage the whole fight, dropped him once in the first round, once in the second round. I think if you look at the fight as just a one big hole, I think Max might have won it, but scoring is the way it is, and the result happened the way it did.
Last question for me. If you go out there and you get the W, where do you think a win puts you in the division? Obviously, you're going to be in the title conversation there, but give me your take on that.
It's just a big win over Dan Ige. Puts me one step closer to ultimately becoming the champion of the UFC in the featherweight division. So that's my goal: bring that belt back home to Boston, and a win over Dan Ige is just a step in the right direction.
Appreciate the time, Calvin. Good luck, man.
Thanks, Nolan.
Next up, we have Paul Honda of the Honolulu Star Advertiser.
Hello, Calvin.
Uh-oh, this one sounds a little biased.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate greatness. It doesn't even matter where you're from, man. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah.
Cool. I know you're not in Vegas. I know you're not gambling and stuff, but those guys say you're the big favorite. And that can be a little tricky if you care about it, and it probably is a little bit of a motivation for anybody who's an underdog, especially Danny. How do you think about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, good thing for me. I don't care about it.
Yeah. Okay, and then your nickname. How did you get it? Do you embrace it? Boston finisher?
Yeah, locally, I fought some kid from New York, and they wanted to do the whole Boston New York thing because the rivalry is real back home. I don't know if you know about it, but yeah. So the promoter just kind of hyping it up. They called me the Boston finisher, and it stuck for a while, and might have been on its way out the door if I hadn't gotten finished in Boston. So my manager said, if I don't get it finished, man, they're gonna call you the Boston Decisionator. So I had to some wins, and now here we are, most finishes in the featherweight division since I debuted.
It's interesting too. Your background as a wrestler,
Yeah, definitely. When I wrestled in high school, I was always a scrappy kid, and never the most technically sound. But I felt like everybody I lost to, if I could have just punched them in the face, I could have won. You know. And here I am. Fast forward this many years later, I found my sport, and I feel at home.
Okay, well, thanks very much. It's a pleasure. Best wishes.
All right, good talking to you. Thank you.
Next, we have Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Calvin. Dan has made a lot going into this fight. You know, the respect he has for you taking this fight, considering he's behind you in the rankings. I don't think you're a guy who really turns down opportunities, but do you appreciate that, you know, he kind of said that, and he kind of, you know, brought it up that you didn't have to take this fight?
Yeah, it's what it is, man. I'm here to compete against the best guys in the world. You know, Dan's done what he had to do to the last 6 guys here in this shot too. So I think we're similar in the fact that many people overlooked us and didn't think we'd have this opportunity ahead of us. And, you know, many people probably doubted us along the way. And here we are. Is the main event, Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. So now it's just simply me going out and showing why I'm the better fighter.
Kind of a similar question I asked to Dan. You guys are fighting, you know, for a second time during this kind of pandemic. You obviously had the big win over Jeremy Stephens, and now you're the main event of this card. A lot of the top featherweights, unfortunately, have been kind of sidelined. You know, Ortega and Zombie have been talking, but they're not fighting. And obviously, we've heard rumors about Zabit and Yair, but again, nothing, as far as I know, is 100% confirmed. I mean, were you happy to stay active? It is also frustrating that some of the top guys aren't as active.
Nah, man, that's it. There's a lot of talking going on and not a lot of fighting. And I think you see guys like Dan Ige, myself, wanting to be busy. It shows who's hungry, and that type of mindset pays dividends in the long run. So, you know, people can stay inactive as they want, and we'll catch up to them all eventually.
You know, you've mentioned about what kind of finisher you are, and one thing Dan has shown in all his fights is he has incredible toughness. He took some shots from Edson Barbosa that probably would have put a lot of guys out. Do you enjoy facing that kind of guy, and does it kind of raise the level of challenge for you to go out there and get a finish over a guy like Dan, who has been shown to, you know, has shown incredible durability?
Yeah, Jeremy Stephens showed incredible durability over the course of his career as well. But I just take what these guys give me. I go out and fight like I fight, and finishes come. I try not to force them, and you know, just my style of fighting. If I see the opportunity, I strike. And we'll see how Dan Ige holds up to that.
And last question for me. Again, you're not looking past this fight. I'm not looking past this fight. But if everything goes well for you on Wednesday night, do you want to stay active? And if those guys are out there and they're not fighting, is that kind of the hope? And maybe get that rematch with Zabit in a main event again, 5 rounds this time, something like that. Like, is that kind of the idea? Would you like to have a very busy schedule, assuming everything goes well for you this weekend or this Wednesday?
My goals post the B fight were just to go 3-0 this year. I started out with Jeremy, have an opportunity with me on Dan Ige, so the quick turnaround kind of got me right back on pace with my goals this year. And you know, with shit, my bad. With what is it? I'm sorry, you said 3-0. It's all good. Fuck me out.
With the you know, the activity, you know, in terms of, like, you know, credibility.
I don't care who is next, man. Whoever gets me to that belt, you know, that's the ultimate goal. You know, we want to bring that belt home back to Boston, and you know, win over Dan Ige puts me right back in that mix. And these guys can sit all on the sidelines all they want, but not me. I mean, I choose to stay busy, and these guys all have to deal with me eventually once they sign that contract.
Thanks, Calvin.
Yep, thanks.
Next, we have Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hey, Calvin, fighting in May in Jacksonville with everything that happened, what do you take most from that experience going into Fight Island in terms of the testing and the quarantine, etc.?
I just think that the UFC is doing a better job at how they're going through their processes. May 9th was their first event, and they did as best as they could, but, you know, I think they've tightened up every show, and out here in Abu Dhabi, things protocols are everyone's really safe, and they're going the extra mile. So that's really the main takeaway. Other than that, from a fight standpoint, I'm on to Dan Ige, and everything that happened in May is done. And I have a fight this Wednesday and has my full attention. So I'm focused on Dan Ige and taking him out.
Over here, everyone's talking about the NBA bubble as other sports come back. Can you talk about what's life like inside the UFC bubble for a fighter?
Pretty similar, man. But fighters, they constantly diet and deal with the different food and I feel like the NBA guys, you go in the locker room at halftime, they got like a green room every night they play basketball. So, they're probably a little more shell shocked to it than we are. But the quarantining we're all going to deal with it, man. It's a new normal for everybody. But I'm just happy to be out of quarantine for the 40-hour window. I was able to see the island for a little bit, and now weight cut tomorrow, fight day Thursday morning here in Abu Dhabi, and I couldn't be more ready to go.
You go out there, you get a big victory, but you guys are in this bubble where everything is closed. Have you thought about, how to even celebrate under the circumstances?
Yeah, I'm going to celebrate by going home, getting back to work on a full belly. That's it. Nothing changes. There ain't nothing else to do, like you said. I just stay in the gym, and I'll just be doing it with a full stomach.
Yeah, thanks, Calvin.
Thank you.
Next, we have Sumit Dada from Sports Kita.
Hey, Calvin. Hope you're doing good, buddy.
Thanks. Doing well.
So first thing I want to ask was, in your last fight at UFC 249, you knocked out Jeremy Stephens. And looking back on that fight, would you consider that as one of the most important victories of your career so far?
I think my most important one right now is my next one, and Dan Ige. That was a good win, but it's just a small checkpoint in where I see myself in the division.
Right. So the UFC 251 fight, the featherweight title fight between Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway. What did you think of that?
I thought if you scored it as one full round in total, I think you got to give it to Max. But where the scoring system is the way it is, I could see the third round going either way. But where Max controlled the cage the whole fight, dropped him in the first and the second. If it was just scored differently, I think Max might have got the nod.
Right. So if you emerge victorious this week, would you vouch for a title shot next, or would you like to get a few more wins before eventually shifting your focus on the belt?
I'll take that belt as soon as it presents itself. So win over Dan Ige puts me in that mix, and the perfect world, I want the champ.
Right, of course. So one final question: do we expect another spectacular finish from you this week?
I'll let the fans, decide what they think I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there, just be me, and the finish will come on its own.
Right. Thank you so much, and good luck for the fight.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Augusto Jimenez Gay from Somos MMA.
Hi, Calvin. How are you?
Good, thanks.
My first question is there anything about this different fight week that affects your preparation? I mean, the fact that you have to stay in your rooms doing the quarantine, the tests, does all that affect you?
No, I roll with the punches. I just adjust, and anything that would affect me would also affect Dan Ige. So we're on level playing field, and I think I deal with adversity better than these guys. So I see with the struggle and all this adversity, I think I handle it better. I see it as an advantage for me.
And in your opinion, which is the craziest thing about all this fight week? The travel, the COVID test, the quarantine? What is it?
Craziest thing this week? I don't know. The plane ride here was kind of nice. It was like I was laying flat in the bed. Service was great on the plane. Just couldn't really order all the shit off the menu I wanted to. So I'm hoping to do that on my way home.
And well, talking about the fight, how do you imagine it? Where are going to be the keys for your victory?
Just got to go out and fight like I can, and I'm gonna look for the finish the whole time, like I always do. And Danny gets a tough competitor, supposed to be durable, and we'll see how he holds up to the shots.
And do you think that the time difference will be a factor on the fight?
No, and if it is, it's going to be a factor for him as well. If anything, it's better for me the way the the timings worked out. But I don't get lost in that stuff. When we step in that octagon, it's just going to be simply who's the better fighter, and I'll get my hand raised at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you. Thursday here, but.
All right, Calvin, that's it for you. Thank you for coming in. Good luck.
Appreciate you. All right, bye. Novi.
Bye. Hi, Tim. Thanks for joining us today. Now we have number 12 UFC ranked flyweight Tim Elliott. First question to you will come from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Thanks very much, and welcome back, Tim. Co-main event in this one now is a little bit unexpected. How does that feel?
Oh man, it feels great. Honestly, with or without the co-main event, I'm feeling like a reborn baby here. I've never felt better. Never felt more ready to get in there. But I like the extra time that I'm going to have. Normally, I would like to fight early. If I was in Las Vegas, I would like to be the second fight. But since my fight was going to be at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get a few more hours now with the second to last fight. So it just makes it better for me.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of people talking about the time difference, the heat in Abu Dhabi, the travel time over there, a lot of the different factors. How has it been for you so far, this fight week experience?
Oh man, it's been amazing. The more factors, the more negative things that can happen. If everybody's having to deal with it, the more variables and obstacles for everybody. Like I do better. I thrive in these negative situations. So the flight was awesome. They flew me business class. I slept for like 10 hours on the airplane, which never happens. The food and my diet has been perfect. Honestly, this camp has been it's been one of my better ones. I don't know how it could have went any better.
And making a relatively quick turnaround here, I mean, your second fight during the pandemic, does that kind of give you an edge, especially kind of knowing what to expect with the quarantine protocols and everything else?
Yeah, I feel like, anytime you have done something, more than once, it gets easier. But everybody's having to deal with it. And I'm just lucky I have a great team of people like helping me get through this. I have not just my regular team in Las Vegas or my team in Kansas City, but the people at the Performance Institute are up here. Clint and is getting my diet and everything has been super easy. Heather is working on my body. So it's, although it's hot here and I'm far away from home, I have all my regular people here, even my Las Vegas coaches that I had to leave to go train with in Kansas City. They're up here because Joseph Benavidez is on my team and they're here cornering him. So I have my Vegas coaches here. I have my Kansas City coaches here. I have my girlfriend here. I have the people from the Performance Institute making my food. I have Heather working on my body. Like, this is just, man, I couldn't ask for more.
How's the pressure heading into this? Because kind of the elephant in the room is, I mean, with all the positives, there's also the fact that you are going in on a 3-fight losing streak, and we do know how serious that can be for anyone in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, there's always pressure, but good news is I'm on a 3-fight losing streak, and they just renewed my contract. They gave me 4 new fights. I got a pay raise, and now I'm co-main event slot. So there's always pressure in this sport, but man, I'm a pressure guy. I'm a pressure fighter, and I love it. That's what I'm doing here. I like the nerves. I like the anxiety. I like the one thing I wish there was a big crowd here. That's one thing I'm really gonna miss. But yeah, other than that, everything couldn't be better.
And last one for me. I mean, you guys are both known as finishers. How do you see this one playing out come Wednesday night?
I'm gonna finish him early, man. I'm telling you, I've never felt this good. Since Robert Follis has passed, I've been kind of scattered, and I was lucky enough to have guys like Casey Halstead and Eddie Baraka help me get through that, and I found my home there in Las Vegas. But since then, or now, like my mind is on, and I'm focused, and I've been back in Kansas City training with some of my older coaches and the guys that got me into the UFC, and man, I'm laser focused and ready to go.
All right, well, thanks very much for the time, and best of luck Wednesday, or I guess Thursday morning for you.
Yeah, one or the other. Either way, both.
All right, Tim, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for your time, and good luck this week.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Abdul. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, now we have UFC welterweight Abdul Razak Alhassan. We will start with Gabriel Gonzalez with Cageside Press.
Hello, Abdul. Can you just talk about what the Fight Island experience has been like for you over the last few days?
It's been good and interesting. We've been pretty much stuck in, but this is one in a lifetime opportunities. It's a nice place to be. So we're enjoying it as much as we can for the fight day.
What have you been doing when you just have time and you're not training?
Lay down and sleep, pretty much. I haven't been doing much because it's pretty much training, cut weight, sleep, or go for a walk. So we since we all quarantined, and also we're here, I don't want to put myself in a situation that I might be able to catch COVID from somebody and then the fight being canceled. So I'm trying to be safe as possible.
Gotcha. You're fighting a UFC newcomer. You're 4-1. You had a streak of finishes. Is there pressure to deliver an exciting performance, an exciting finish to show that you are on a different level than a guy just getting to the UFC?
I wouldn't say pressure because that's me trying to prove to other stuff, but it's just about me proving myself. So for me, I never underestimate anybody who I'm fighting. It doesn't matter who it is, even if it's the person who's 0 and 20. I'll fight the same way I always fight, and always look for one outcome. And it's just me getting my hands raised. That's all.
Finally, what do you think Mounir brings to the table as an opponent?
I think he's a tough guy. He's a tough dude, a good striker, a combination striker. So I don't take him lightly.
Thank you.
And next we have Damon Martin from MMA Fighting.
Yeah, Abdul, I think obviously we all know the kind of crazy, emotional situation you've gone through these last couple of years. How does it feel to be back in a fight week and just have a fight in front of you again?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing, when you go through some stuff like that and not knowing where your life is going and all you think about negativity in your head, stress, death. It's stressful, and to God to help you all through all this and to prove your innocence and to bring you into doing back you love, doing what you love, it's amazing in so many different ways that I can be here to do it.
Obviously, the legal situation is such a weird thing for you, and obviously, I'm sure going through all that is just a crazy emotional situation. But from a fight standpoint, you were building so much momentum off those 3 big knockouts in a row, especially the last 2. How hard was it to kind of have that momentum stunted and just kind of have to put your entire career on hold? And now I imagine you want to kind of remind people who you are.
Yeah, it really sucks. It really sucks to sit behind and watch everybody get to the top and keep watching people move up while you're stuck at the same place that you were. It really sucks. It really sucks. But what I say to myself and how I feel like I've gone in so many different ways in spirituality, I feel like everything happens for a reason. God knows why this happened. And I know He pushed me back to the top. I'll get there. So everybody who's already been ahead of me, who have been having a good momentum, I wish them all good going. But I'm here now, so I'll come to take what's mine.
Kind of a good situation to come back to in terms of your placement on the card, kicking off the main card. ESPN. You are known as a big finisher. Do you feel like this is an opportunity to kind of remind people and not only who you are but what you can do by going out there and getting a big finish to kick off this main card?
Yes, like I was saying earlier, a lot of people enjoy fighting 15-minute rounds. Not me. What's the point of fighting 15-minute rounds if there's a chance I can finish the fight really quicker? I get paid the same, so what's the point of me staying in there for 15 minutes if I can finish the fight quicker? So I always go in there to try and look for the finish, and I know it will come. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, we'll finish it out a different way if we have to.
And last question, not looking past Mounir in any way, shape, or form, but considering everything you've had to go through, now you're back. How busy do you want to be in an ideal world? Now that you are back, like what kind of a schedule do you want to keep?
As busy as possible, and like I said, I don't look over anybody. I don't look over my opponent or who they are. This guy is a tough guy, and I'm not looking over him. So I'm going to deal with him. And then afterwards, we're going to go right from there. And right from there, we want to jump in right away. I do not even. So we just want to go in there, by God's grace, injury-free, and then fight right away. Even if there's something in September, I want to take it right away.
Thank you, Abdul.
And next, we have Augusto German Niaz-Gay from Somos MMA.
Hello, Abdul. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. My first question is, how did you manage to prepare this fight in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah,
affect you?
Yeah, it was quite hard. It was quite hard to get training buddies to come and train with you because you're trying to be safe at the same time. But my kickboxing coach, he always have people that he will contact people to come and get some work in with you. Anytime, any chance we get. So he still was able to get people to come and train with him.
And talking about the fight, is there anything about Mounir you have to be careful of?
As a fighter, you have to be careful about everything. You have to be careful. You cannot be careless in how you fight. So pretty much, I know he's a good striker. He hits hard. But you don't know what was going to come. But I'm prepared for it.
And how do you manage how do you manage this the time difference that everybody's talking about, the fact that you have to live during the night and sleep in the day? How are you dealing with that?
That's exactly how I'm dealing it. I'm going with the US time. So pretty much I sleep from morning here because I pretty much just woke up about an hour or something ago here. So I go with it. It sucks because at nighttime here, you feel like your body feels like you want to go to sleep. You want to sleep. You feel drowsy and stuff, but you try to keep yourself awake as much as you can. The time difference sucks, but what can you do about it?
And my final question: what do you do to kill time during the quarantine?
Sleep. I actually brought my video game. So I pretty much play Call of Duty with my friends from home in the States. And then it kills time getting to talk to your friends and stuff. So it kind of kills time.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck on Wednesday.
No, thank you.
And we will end things off with Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
And obviously we touched on it a little earlier, but with everything you went through over the past couple of years, was there a point where you doubted whether you would ever be back in the UFC? Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Was there ever a point where you doubted if you would be back in the UFC after everything you'd been through?
So many times. I even doubted if I'll be alive because I wanted to kill myself. Not saying because people don't see what happens in the background. A lot of people will doubt you, will say bad stuff about you when they don't know the truth. Because this is the kind of harassment that you never wish on anybody. But to say I sat down and thought about it. I have 2 kids. I have a girl and I have a boy. What will happen to them if I take myself? Because of some evil people trying to kill me. But like I said, I approve my innocence and I prove them that they will never be amount to anything. And God will always prevail and show the truth. So, but I learned so much from it. Everything happens for you. We all in this world, we all make mistakes. That's the reason why this happened. And I feel like now I'm even stronger than I was before. So I feel like it's a good thing for me that happened for me spiritually. I would never wish this on even on my worst enemy. Never.
And I mean, we live in a climate now where regardless of what the courts say, regardless of what's true, social media wants to be the judge, jury, executioner, so to speak. What has your experience been like in the last few years with social media, with Twitter, with Instagram?
I don't really care what they say. I don't really care much what they say at all. And pretty much, I never got any message from anybody that is saying some bad things about me. Of course, I'm sure I was told they were writing a lot of stuff online, but for me, really, pretty much the messages I got from my followers are positive message saying they're praying for me and that will prevail. And I never worried about what anybody else. As long as I knew and I know I'm a good person and I know I'll never do something like that. Never, I would choose death over doing something like that. So I didn't really care about what they say, it's just about proving myself and proving the court system wrong and everybody else wrong. And I know I had the evidence, I had everything, I had videotapes and everything. So pretty much, I don't care. It's like the fighting world. It doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be some people sitting on the computer. When they don't know you, they will say whatever they have to say. If you listen to them, you're pretty much gonna downplay yourself. You pretty much warn yourself for nothing. So pretty much, if you don't have anything positive to say to me, I will not listen to you. It's just like watching Kamaru fight this past weekend. The guy just went in there and won, and people are out there bashing him, saying the way he won is boring. And I'm like, dude, do you want to step in there? Come and step in there and take one punch and tell me how it feels, and then you can talk. But I don't really care what they say. It's all about positive from here.
Is it motivating to try and prove some people wrong this weekend then?
No, I'm not trying to prove anybody wrong. I'm trying to prove myself right. I'm trying to prove to myself. I don't care about them. If I think about them, then I'm thinking about them. That's taking my energy away. No, I'm not proving them wrong. I'm going to go in there and prove myself right and do everything I have to do. And everybody that doubted me, and they can, I don't want to curse, but right now my emotions, I don't want to curse, but right now they can all go, that's all I have to say to you.
With that in mind, I mean, are you a believer at all in ring rest? Because you have been gone for a while. Do you think it'll take some time to find your footing?
No, I don't believe if you're going there to throw, you go and throw. That it is what it is. It's just I don't believe in that. Of course, you might feel different walking in there. You might feel the emotions might be different, because you haven't walked in there for a while, But when the door closed, knowing that there's somebody right next to you trying to smash your face in, that will give you all the motivation you need to go in there and smash the person back.
All right. Well, thanks very much for the time and best of luck on Wednesday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Abdul. That's all we have for you today. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Recording has started.
Oh, looks like there might be some difficulties. Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hello, can you hear me? I can hear you. Okay. You're coming off the win at the Apex in June. Now you're already here on Fight Island. Can you just describe what it's been like making this quick turnaround in terms of your training and travel?
Well, the travel has been pretty crazy, but I mean, my training is always the same. I'm always in the gym, always working hard. So this wasn't really like everyone calls it a short notice fight, but man, my last 2 fights, I trained I started training hard in January, so I've been training hard all year. So fighting here just makes sense.
We just had the bantamweight title fight on Saturday. Can you describe, just as a contender, what it's like to be in the UFC, to be in this weight class when you have all of these awesome major players active in the title picture?
I mean, I look at bantamweight as the most stacked division in the UFC right now. I mean, it's insane how many big names and talented guys there are. Probably 1 to 20, and to be in that mix, it's amazing. It just means, that I got to be the best athlete I can be, because, there are no easy fights at the top. And, after watching that title fight this weekend, I feel like, I'm not that far away from a fight like that.
Everyone knows about what's been happening with your personal life and losing a family member, and I'm sorry about that. I do want to ask, having these 2 fights back-to-back in the pandemic, how has staying active as a fighter in training just helped you?
I think it's going to help me, work through everything. You know what I mean? Fighting has definitely been one of the most positive things in my life, and it's helped me conquer a lot of hard things. Fighting taught me, how to kind of deal with the hard times. Fighting isn't easy. Fighting's the hardest sport there is. We definitely don't get enough credit, and fighting teaches you to be tough and stay mentally strong all the time, no matter what's happening. Even if you're getting your ass hit, you gotta keep pushing, and that's something as a fighter and as a man that I've done through all this.
I appreciate that. My final question, just Jimmie Rivera, tough veteran. Can you describe what he brings to the table?
Jimmie's one of those guys stands in the pocket, sits down on punches and tries to figure it out like that. I think Kelleher was kind of the same way, maybe a little bit more dynamic than Jimmie, but Jimmie's a little bit more technical, a little more explosive. I don't know. I look at Jimmie like kind of like a dying breed in MMA. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that really is kind of one-dimensional, fights in one stance, can't really move. But is really good at what he does, really fundamentally sound. But, this game is constantly evolving, and I don't feel like Jimmie's involved with it.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you. Next, we have Damon Martin from MMA Fighting.
Hey, Cody, everything you've gone through, the emotions of what you dealt with, I think if everyone, if you took off the next, 4 or 5 months, I don't think anyone would blame you. But with this schedule, I mean, bouncing right back from the big win and getting this one, is that kind of who you are as a person, fighting through, a tough time in your life and kind of making the most out of a bad situation by staying active in your fight career?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the kind of person I am. I don't like to sit around and feel self-pity or, feel bad for myself or be sad. I like to just kind of dust myself off, get up and keep going forward and be the best man I can. Not only that, but what's the only thing I can do now, for my brother is just live the absolute best life that I can, So, I'm just taking advantage of every opportunity I can get. And, trying to leave no stone unturned.
Can you kind of walk me through how this fight exactly came together? Because we had heard that Jimmie had tried to jump in and fight Frankie Edgar when we heard that Pedro Munoz was out because of the COVID-19 testing. And then I know you were out there with a fight, or there was a rumor about a fight, or like, how did this actually come together? Because I know it was kind of weird, like how you two ended up fighting each other.
So Jimmie and I were going to fight in August. I got a phone call about fighting Jimmie in August, and then the fight popped up with Frankie Edgar. Jimmie and I both submitted our names, and since we had argued that we were going to fight in August, as soon as the Edgar fight fell out, that's how this fight came out.
Were you disappointed at all you didn't get the Edgar fight?
Oh, of course. I mean, Edgar's, probably one of my favorite fighters, Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just got a phone call.
Yep, I can still hear you. If you could start, I missed that last part.
What was that? Could you want to answer?
I could not, actually. Would you mind repeating that? Sorry.
Yeah, I was actually disappointed not to fight Frankie. He's actually one of my favorite guys to watch, and it would have been amazing to share the cage with a legend like that. But Jimmie Rivera is no slouch either. He doesn't have the accolades that Frankie Edgar does, but he's one of the toughest dudes in the bantamweight division, so I'm happy to fight him too.
And last one for me, Cody, this is another chance for you to fight at featherweight, although I think we're all kind of looking at this as a bantamweight fight. Is that kind of the way you look at this? You don't have to cut as much weight. You don't have to kill yourself to get down to 135. But obviously, Jimmie has a name at bantamweight. You have a name at bantamweight, but you guys aren't, actually fighting at 135 for this one.
Oh, I love the 45-pound fights, man. It's a whole different ballgame for me. I actually get to enjoy myself. You know what I mean? I don't have to actually kill myself to make weight. There's no way we could be having this conversation if I was making 135. I wouldn't be in any kind of shape to even talk on the phone. But I'm 5 pounds over. I just want to cut 5 pounds, and then a hot tub. So I mean, it's a pretty smooth cut to me at 45, man. But 35 is a different ballgame. It hurts.
Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. And that's all we have for you today. Good luck this week.
Okay, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Recording has stopped.
will finish off
Started.
Virtual Media Day with UFC featherweight Jimmie Rivera. First question will go to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cage Side Press.
Hey, Jimmy. Having had COVID-19, were there any extra tests or anything different you had to go through, to your knowledge, to get approved for this fight?
No, I had it way back in end of March, so I don't think there was. I just went through the same COVID testing that everybody's been going through and coming up negative because I had it so long ago. Besides that, that's it.
I mean, being one of the athletes in our sport to have gone through it, I mean, can you just describe what is it like? Because I think, for a lot of people, it's still just this big thing. So can you just shed some light on what was your experience recovering from it?
Basically I had 3 bad days. The first day I had like a backache, fever on and off. I was just super tired, super fatigued. And then the second day I went into it, just had a backache and fever on and off. And then the third day I just had a backache. And by the fourth day I was fine. I did have like a little bit of like a wet cough, nothing too bad. But I felt shitty for 3 days. And after the third day I was fine and felt great. And then I spoke to my doctor about it. He's like, just take Tylenol for the fever, a lot of vitamin C. And from there, I was like, after I started feeling really good, I was like, all right, when am I not contagious? And he was like, 14 days without symptoms. So I was like, all right, great. So I'll just stay quarantined for the 14 days. And after I'm done being quarantined, I'll be able to step out and do what I had to. So it was from end of March to beginning of April pretty much. And then that was it. So it wasn't too bad, but also at the same time, I'm a professional athlete. I eat right and I work out a lot. So up until those bad days, I was working out, just running outside and lifting and what I could do. So, when it came down to being sick, I don't think it was that bad for me, just the fact that I do take care of myself in and out of the octagon and all the time.
Final one from me. You fought a lot of these guys in the title picture now, Pewter, Marlon, Aljo. I mean, from your experience, who do you think is the guy to come out on top out of those 3?
I think Jan matches up pretty well against a lot of the guys, except I feel like, to be honest with me, I went into that fight with Jan and I lost about 15 minutes, and I just learned the hard way on, if you're up in the round, you can't just kind of coast towards the end, which I did, and I've usually done in the previous fights. You got to fight all the way to the bell. So it was a hard lesson learned with Jan, but a lesson learned. I think Jan, whoever he does fight next, it's going to do really well until I get a rematch with him.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Next up, we have Damon Martin from MMA Fighting.
Hey, Jimmy, I know this was kind of a weird one coming together because you tried to get the Frankie Edgar fight, and then obviously that didn't happen, and then you move on to Cody Stamann, and I know Cody said you guys were probably going to fight in August, but kind of walk me through the particulars. Were you disappointed you didn't get Frankie? Were you ultimately happy you got, Cody?
I'm just happy to get back in there to fight. I mean, I would love to get that Frankie fight, but it was something that I guess Frankie wanted to say with Pedro, and they saw that they pushed the fight back. I would have loved to do that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're fighting at a catch weight of Cody Stamann line, so it's nice not to have to cut so much weight as well. But it was just good to get back in there and get back into the octagon and fight.
I know, as you talked about, as a guy who went through COVID-19, I know you mentioned your wife in the interview you did before. Your wife had obviously a little tougher time with it with her immune system. We've seen, COVID-19 kind of become a politicized issue, even in the fight community. You've seen it with, Brendan Schaub and some other guys out there talking. As a guy who lived through it and a guy who went through it, especially someone with your wife, I mean, Does it make you angry? Do you get kind of upset when you see, so many people trying to put opinions on, wearing masks, not wearing masks, the COVID-19 shouldn't affect athletes, like all this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm at a certain point where, if you're high risk, stay home. If you're scared of it, stay home. But if people want to go out, what are the risk of it? Let them go out. Let them do whatever. I mean, it doesn't make sense. People that wear masks, and depending on what mask you're wearing, a cloth over your face is not really going to stop you from getting it. Just taking care of yourself in case you do get it, and wash your hands are the basic things. I've seen and I researched a lot of the doctors I've seen and researched and talked about it. The best prevention of it is just taking care of yourself, eating right and working out. And you can, had it and I only had it for a couple of days and I recovered quick. But if you are high risk, those are the people, high risk and elderly people are who they affect. So that's where you got to be really cautious and be very careful. So if you have someone at home that's high risk, or you are yourself, then be smart about what your decisions and what you're going to do. I mean, that's pretty much all you can do. It's tough. The whole, there's strands are coming out and not as strong as the initial strand. Well, hopefully people can get through it, and those people at high risk or elderly be able to get through it as well. I'm at a point, man. Like, I think just let's open everything up and let's get going. You know what I mean? And if you're scared of it, stay home. And what I feel like people and governors and the government should do is just get a plan for people that want to stay home, that are high risk, that fall on high risk or elderly. Get a plan for them to help them out, because those are the people going to need the most. But let everybody else kind of go back to their normal routine.
And with that being said, Jimmie, you mentioned the Peter Yan fight, and I don't want to take the attention away from Cody Stamann, but when you look at Peter Yan and his career in the UFC, he's pretty much dominated everybody except you. You were the guy who gave him his toughest fight. When you see him go out there and win the title the way he did and put on such an impressive performance against a guy like Jose Aldo, does that just motivate you even more to get back into that title race, knowing how close you came to, beating a guy like that?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it really does. I see a lot of people say different things, but I think I gave Yan his toughest fight, and just the fact that I knew it was up in the first and second round and I wanted to coast was a hard lesson learned. And I didn't make that mistake going into the third round. And it's just, it's definitely big motivation, definitely to get back in there and just to fight, and obviously taking a fight last minute to fill up a spot and help the UFC out. So I'm looking forward to it and just getting back in, and grateful that UFC gave me this opportunity.
And last question, when you look at the guys you've lost to in the UFC, it's literally the guys at the exact top of the division. It's Marlon, Aljo, and Peter Yan. Obviously, Cody Stamann's a super, super tough guy, but would you put him on that same level? Do you consider him, one of the best guys in the world, or do you feel like this is a fight you should go out and dominate?
I think this is a fight I should go out and and do really well. I don't say dominate. I mean, it sounds a little cocky, but I should just do really well. I guess in a way it's tough. A lot of factors always come in. First of all, like people always say, like, it's MMA, so anything could happen too. But the second thing is, one of the biggest factors I think is that you train for someone for a month or 2 months straight of their style and what they're going to do. So there was really no training for this. I took the fight on Monday night, the contract Tuesday, left 2 days later to Vegas and then Abu Dhabi. So I want to say I should do really well in the fight. I'm just looking to, put on a war and put on a fight for the fans, to be honest with you. My only worry of outcome is, getting my hand raised, getting the W at the end. But always hoping to get the finish, whether it's a submission or a knockout or a TKO or something like that. But I don't really think I just go with the flow and see what happens.
Thanks, Jimmie.
Thanks, Jimmie. And that's all that we have for you today. Thanks for joining.
All right, no problem. Thank you. Bye.
All right, that concludes today's virtual media day.
Recording has stopped.
We would like to thank everyone for joining today's event and your supporting coverage. If you have not registered for the post-fight availability for UFC Fight Night Kattar versus Ige, please do so today. We will distribute video downloads from today's event to your email as soon as they are available. Have a great day, everyone.